Hello, this is Dr. Kentress Davison with Dr. Hood LLC, helping others overcome determinants. And today we're going to do a quick talk about how to package your frozen specimens. The last thing you want is to have the patient come in, do all the processing and collecting correctly, and then ship them off. And the dry ice is not the level of dry ice is not sufficient enough to keep the specimen frozen until it reaches the central laboratory. So the first thing you want to make sure is to assess if we're near any holidays or central laboratory closures, because operating hours will change based on that. So oftentimes you have studies that are in place where you can only ship Monday through Thursday, because Monday through Thursday, because on Saturday they are not available. And then you have some central laboratories that are open on Saturdays, but you have to make sure that you apply that Saturday sticker so they won't be delivered on Monday. So first thing you need to do is assess your shipping container. When I was a study coordinator, I always placed dry ice at the bottom, maybe about an inch or two thick. Then place my specimens in the middle, and then place dry ice on top until it reached the top of the container. Now, ideally, you can batch frozen specimens, but you don't want to put too much in that is going to drastically minimize the amount of dry ice you can place on top. Because if the specimens that you see in does not yield a result, despite you collecting it correctly, you processing it correctly, and you putting in the appropriate frozen container, if it does not yield a result, it will default into a protocol deviation. And now the principal investigator has to make the decision if we're going to bring that subject back or that participant back for a recollect, or so we can just still get the data, especially if the visit is still within window. It ideally will be appropriate to do a recollect, or they're just gonna take the protocol deviation, and on top of the deviation have the missing data. So again, assess your shipping container, place dry ice at the bottom, maybe 1 or 2 inches thick. Put enough specimens in that it doesn't compromise the level of dry ice you can place on top that will cause it to evaporate before reaching the central laboratory. I hope this helps. Please comment in the comment section if you've had a site that got notifications indicating that their specimens were not processed because they arrived ambient versus frozen.